Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. Let's dive in and take a look at this. So Kite had earnings, as did Priceline. You can see Kite here. The markets are still open. It's about 2:30 Central here. You can see it's up $14 today, and then Priceline is up, $94. Okay, so how do you play something like this, and can you play something like this? So this is how I do it. Is first of all, a lot of stuff prior to earnings, as we know, is a little bit of a crapshoot. Definitely, you want to focus on being as the same side as the market makers, and that means selling premium. But the question is that what do you do after it comes out? And there's a lot of and really for earnings, I'm typically playing some of the more active, the Facebooks and all that kind of stuff. And just had that flash there. And on something like Kite, this is actually something what I wasn't even aware that earnings were out. What I do is once earnings come out, I do a search and look for things that are having a 2 standard deviation or more move. And so this stock, the expected move was like, $4 and it opened up 8. So on something like that, what I do is I look at the first 30-minute bar, and then once we break this wedge and start going up to test that level, we initiate a long position on that. And that could be selling puts, it could be buying calls. For Kite, this is a matter of like, all right, great, let's pick up some of these options at $4.71. And you can see they're up already nicely just after being in this trade for a couple hours, even though we did not have these overnight. We got these today. But the question is then when do you get out? What I found is that typically this kind of a setup will typically continue moving higher for 4 to 6 trading days. So it's really more of a timing kind of a trade. So for this one so far, even though we've already got a nice profit, wanting to definitely hold on to it and hold on to this trade and see if we can squeeze a little bit more out of it over a couple of days. Because what happens on something like this is it's literally a surprise move. People were not expecting it, and it takes a couple of days for people to either add to this position if this is something that they're like, wow, this is something that was better than we thought, or if they were short to get out of it because they're changing their mind because obviously the earnings which were much better than anticipated, right? So also watching the same thing for Priceline to see if it is generating an opportunity here. And you can see right now it hasn't necessarily broken out through this. And for something like Priceline, what I look for is more selling premium. Okay, it's like, all right, if this thing can then push up through this level, then selling some puts. So what I'm looking to do here is sell like maybe the 1740, 1730 put credit spread if Priceline can close above this level here today into the close, which it may be able to do, but we'll see. And then that brings us to the market as a whole. So, and I've talked about this a couple of times, my concern with the market here is that this is a tough place to get excited about what I would call normal longs, okay? You can see here we've just been butting up against this tree line, and on the one hand, that's actually pretty bullish considering that it hasn't really been rejected from that level. But on the other hand, we got RFA sells all over the place, okay? And you can see the last time we got an RFA sell, it didn't mean that the rally was done. It just means we reverted back to the mean, okay? So I think it would be very logical here that we could revert back to the mean, and that would be like a 30-point drop in the S&Ps or about 3-point drop in the spiders. So that's what we're looking at here. So I don't mind being long what I would call special situations like Kite and potentially like Priceline if it can move higher, because they're going to march to the beat of their own drummer. But I am suddenly getting a lot more interested in the short side of this market only from the perspective of a reversion to the mean. Okay, so that's what we got. Hope it helps. And you guys have a great night, and we'll see you at the next update.